I'd like to call the City Council of City of Monessen at March 10th at 6:30 p.m. to order. Could we have a roll call, please? Oh, by the way, I'd like to make a comment. There is no executive session that took place earlier, so there's nothing to report about that. Roll call, please.
Mayor Moser,
Present.
Councilmember Chakosky. Here. Councilperson Thomas,
Here.
Councilman Nestor,
Present.
Councilman Greger.
Sitting down.
5 present, the quorum is present.
Thank you. Pastor Tim, would you please lead us in prayer?
No,
mic on the-
Pastor Tim.
Take it just a second, I turn it on.
Let's pray. Father, we are so grateful to come to a place that you have placed the leadership with wisdom, with insight, with understanding, most importantly with your heart. Father, it is our heart's desire as men and women here in this meeting to honor you in all that happens, and that the people of Monessen would be blessed in every way. And so, Father, we surrender this meeting, this time over to you. We ask your wisdom. We ask your grace. We ask your mercy. We ask your understanding. And Lord, that there would be a peace and a joy and a love that would flow, that would honor you, so the wisdom that you have would flow through this place, that the city might move forward and bless the people and bless your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like for people to take a quick look at the approval of minutes, and somebody make a motion to approve them. While they're finishing reading this, I'd like to make a real quick note of appreciation to Jean Alios, who has taken the time out of her own work week to come in and transcribe the meeting minutes for the last 3 meetings. We were getting quite far behind on that. That's a volunteer position, something that she volunteered to do, and I have the utmost respect and appreciation for her.
Thank you.
Could I have a motion to accept them?
I make a motion that we accept them.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Ordzikowski. Here. Yes. Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Greger,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for public comments on agenda items only.
I got it. Ernie Telegraphus, 29 Rex. I noticed on your agenda you have more than one building you're considering to knock down and remove.
There's, CDBG has, and this has been going for some time. We've had a project to remove 10 homes. So that's been going on for many months.
Okay, so where are they out of the 10 homes? Did they knock any of them down?
None have yet.
Okay, are they here today or?
No, that would be Ritten Iron Sons. It turns out that some of the homes belong to the city of Monessen. That's no big issue. Some of the homes belong to citizens who want the houses demolished, and 3 or 4 of the homes are unknown. And it appears that the prior administration did not properly notify them nor hold public hearings that these houses would be demolished. So there may be an issue with a few of the homes.
I have another question regarding the house building on
Okay?
5th Street. I keep hearing that Mr. Young is interested in getting involved to take the building off of your hands. Supposedly, he doesn't come through. It's just another rumor. What funds do you have, if any, at this point, to demolish the building, to fix the aqueduct down below and the asbestos, et cetera? Do you have any funds at this point?
Okay, the way this works, I was going to talk about this a little bit later on. It doesn't matter if we talk about it an hour later, but the bottom line is that we do not have the money to demolish that building. Howsoever, there was a grant that was applied for, ironically, by Matt Schraw to renovate that building. The renovation cost of that building were so much greater than the amount of money that he had available that it was no longer a viable option. So we requested, and it is likely to be approved on the 23rd of this month,
What would be approved?
the change of that grant from renovation to demolition.
Oh, okay.
It's $199,648 with no matching funds required.
So, if you get the grant, then you're going to go for it.
Okay.
If you don't get the grant, what happens then?
Well,
We
okay.
already
so-
got the grant, Ernie.
yeah,
We got it.
we've
All we're
got,
gonna do is change it.
all we got to do is transfer it from one to the other, and there's no reason why that wouldn't happen.
All right.
Just a real quick summarize things. We've been trying to do this as honestly, as transparently, and as openly as we possibly can. We filed with the State Historic Preservation Office. We received clearance from them that it has no historic value. We've gone to have samples done of all the asbestos.
Yeah.
All the asbestos is basically said that the only thing that's there is a little bit of caulking around the windows, and the contractor will be required to address that issue.
Oh.
I think that was really the only asbestos that had to be addressed. The water in the basement is all indications are there's no aquifer underneath that
No?
thing. None. All the books that we've looked at, every record we've seen, it used to be a spa, as a matter of fact,
We're in there.
in there. And it was built like a swimming pool, as such, as best we can tell. And hence, with all the holes and the runoff through the walls and through the roof, for over the years, it's been full of water for many, many years. But we tested the water too, because the water is a good indication of everything above it. It filters down, coming down to it. The water tested clean with no asbestos or lead in that either. So we've met all the environmental requirements. The bid will be advertised in the newspaper tomorrow. We're going to do things, because we have till the 23rd, we're going to do things the way that you'd normally do things. We're totally open and transparent. We've got all of our clearances, all of our permits. We're advertising it. We will collect bids. The bids will be due, I think, on the 23rd
March.
of March, which happens to be the day that we get the money. On the 24th,
Oh, yeah?
we should be able to award the bid to the winning bidder, and it's off to the races.
It's good news. Then I didn't know you got this wrapped up, so to speak.
We've been working very hard on this. This has been a very visible, you cannot close down a main road in town and expect to just live that way. That
Yeah.
is not a solution. We've been working very diligently to get this done.
Okay, Ron, thanks.
Any other comments? At this time, I'd like to read a resolution. This is a condolence resolution of the City of Monessen. Resolved that the City of Monessen, by and through its mayor, Ron Moser, City Council members, Anthony Worzenchowski, Lois Thomas, John Nestor, Donald Greger, and all the officials, employees, and citizens of the City of Monessen hereby recognize and mourn the passing of one of its most devoted, dedicated, and hardworking public servants, the Honorable James A. Mayor Sapeski, who passed away on March the 1st at the age of 82. The mayor was born on November 28th of 1939 and was a 1957 graduate of the Monessen High School. He received a bachelor's degree from the University of University of Pennsylvania, and a master's degree from West Virginia University. He was employed for many years with the South Allegheny School District prior to his retirement. Jim was active in all aspects of his community through his church, recreation, and social membership and activities, and countless boards and commissions and volunteer activities. But his greatest love outside of his family was serving the residents and the community of the City of Monessen as an elected official for many years. Jim served on the Monessen School Board from 1967 to 1973, as a Monessen councilman from 1973 to 1977, and as the mayor of the City of Monessen from 1977 until 1989. Always known as a gentleman and a voice of decorum and reason, and through rough and tumble world of politics, he inspired and mentored many to enter the world of public service, and to work with him to help assist the cities, to help the resident and the community of his beloved city. His intelligence, kindness, and dedication will be sorely missed. And on behalf of the citizens of the City of Monessen, we offer our sincere condolences, sympathy, and offer strength to the family, friends, and colleagues of Mayor James A. Sapeski. May eternal rest be granted to him, and could we all rise for a brief moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. You do have a report.
Good evening, everybody. First is the ordinance for the Local Government Unit Debt Act for the Penvest borrowing. That is up for adoption tonight in front of council. Once it is enacted, there will be a packet sent off to DCED for them to process the loan and allow the city to close on that loan. The second item is I worked with Tony Vitale and WC Engineers to finalize the specifications for the 500 Donner demolition. Mr. Moser spoke at length about that. No need to go into any more details. Mr. Moser, Mr. Korposh, and myself met with the superintendent and their solicitor with regards to the tax forgiveness program. It was a very productive meeting, and there is a legitimate path forward to revamp this program and continue on with it. We're going to work to put that program together, get the approval of the school, and then we'll get the county to sign off on it. And that was about it for the last 2 weeks.
Realizing we have another meeting at the end of the month, does the city treasurer have anything they'd like to report on at this time?
Yes, I have a current report, Mayor. Mayor and members of council and citizens of Monessen. The treasurer's report for the month of February,
Turn his mic on.
2022.
Could you turn your mic on?
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
Okay, this is the current report for February 2022. Garbage and fees revenue. Garbage collected current, $78,532.50. Year-to-date, $269,200. $846.50. Budget amount is $370,000. Delinquent tax for February, $8,330.65. Portnoy also collected $955.64. Year-to-date, delinquent, $28,233.73. Portnoy collected $3,901.99, and the interest and penalties Portnoy collected was $177.49. Garbage fees, Housing Authority, quarterly, we received nothing this quarter. Year-to-date, $15,258.75. Total budgeted amount is $490,000. Garbage collection for 2023, $320 this month. Year-to-date, $785. Budgeted amount is $147,834. City real estate taxes. City real estate taxes current, we've received nothing this month. Year-to-date, nothing. They'll have funds in those for next month. 2022 budget amount, general fund is $1,452,449. Debt service fund is $394,229. Parks, $199,052. Budgeted for the library is $52,135 for a total of $2,087,865. Delinquent city taxes. City taxes collected prior year by the city, nothing this month. Year-to-date, $5,502.96. Budget amount is $9,000. City taxes collected by Westmoreland County and Portnoy, nothing received this year, or this month, nothing year-to-date. The budget amount is $210,000. Year-to-date taxes collected delinquent, $5,502.96. City distribution of tax is general fund received $3,828.20. Debt service fund received $1,039.07. Parks received $524.64. And library received $111.05 for a total of $5,502.96. Real estate transfer tax, February $7,616.39. Year-to-date, $21,284.07. Budgeted amount, $70,000. Earned income tax, February $77,330.62. Year-to-date, $96,426.76. Budget amount, $600,000. Mercantile tax, February $58.56. Year-to-date, $537.83. Budget amount, $29,000. Local service tax this month, $12,775.78. Year-to-date, $14,647.50. Budget amount, $75,000. Tax certification letters, February $2,150. Year-to-date, $3,500. Budget amount, $23,000. Municipal lien letters, February $1,800. Year-to-date, $2,700. Budget amount, $16,000. Line usage account, unsecured payments, February $3,888. Year-to-date, $3,888. Line usage fee, $23,555.60. Year-to-date, $102,084.10. Total for the year was $105,972.10. Mayor, that concludes my report, and also we are going to have an opening for Deputy City Treasurer. If anybody would like to apply for the position, you can submit an application to the City of Monessen.
Thank you, Jerry. Do you need a motion on that?
Yes, I need a motion on this.
Mayor, motion to accept the treasurer's report currently due on March 10th, 2020.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher,
Yes.
Councilman Ordzikowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you. Rosalie, do you have a report you'd like to give?
Yes.
Very good.
The controller's report reflects the balances in the bank as of February 28th, 2022. The general fund has $118,439.33. The general fund in Pliget is $2,014.50. Debt service has a bank balance of $118,366.30. The fire escrow account, $54,044.83. The grant fund, $41,237.25. The healthcare fund, $6,989.94. Line usage, $104,982.46. The American Rescue Fund, $70,297.04. The parks balance is $18,246.25. The payroll account, $15,656.61. The recreation account has $2,712.38. Liquid fuels, $932.27. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Question, Mayor. Controller, do we have any reports for the CDBG at all?
I don't think we do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes. Talking about the sewer project. Couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting here in which we approved a Pinvest project. That is the phase 4 of the sewer project. That project is through a loan from Pinvest to the tune of about $2.3 million. That project is out for bid right now as we speak. The bid package is upstairs for anybody that would like a copy of it. I think it's a massive document. It took at least 2 trees per thing, so hence you got I think it's a $150 deposit or something like that. But nonetheless, that project is going out for bid. It is kicking off. This is the project that involves the sewer line that comes down 9th Street. It's the sewer line that comes down 3rd. It's a little bit on Delaware. These are the worst of the worst lines that we have, and this is where they're starting. This is where the lines come down 9th Street, just as an example. At the bottom of 9th Street there, where it hooks up to Schoonmaker, that line's 35 feet deep. It slopes down that hill, and there's places it's as much as 70 feet deep. It's collapsing. It was originally, apparently, from what I've been told, it used to be a riverbed that came down through there. And when they lined the riverbed, and sooner or later they eventually built the top for the riverbed, and the next thing you know is they covered it up and they put a dump on top of it, and the next thing you know they covered that up and put a park on top of that. The point being is this is a sewer line that's way, way past its useful this time. Bricks are coming apart in it. Debris comes down the line, it shuts in the plant, and it backs up the system. Last year, you may recall, we had the manhole open up out by the mill, and it was 35 feet down in the hole. All these things are really to try to rectify some of the worst problems we have. That line will actually be abandoned, and they will put a new line in its place that's much more serviceable, not 70 feet down type thing that's just not serviceable. So anyway, that's one of the problems that's going. And to be real honest with you, we got another project that's going to be kicking off a little bit later on we'll be talking about with the PNC, with USDA for the $15 million project. I understand that this is a big project for Monessen. It's a huge project. There's going to be all eyes on this project, and I really invite all eyes on this project. But one of the things that really concerned me was how's the money handled on a $15 million project? I've run big projects for big corporations before, but I had whole teams of accountants and so forth to take care of this. Well, so let me just kind of describe the way that this will work with the USDA. First off, we're going to establish a monthly cutoff date that occurs before one of our monthly meetings that we have, such as this one here. Presumably, it would be sometime early in the month, but this would be something that the engineer and the contractor would agree upon, that all invoices up to that point for that month would be turned in to the engineer. So there will be a monthly cutoff. The engineer will receive these, and he will match those invoices up with the work that was been done. He will have people watching these projects as they're doing. He'll keep record of it. You match up this invoice to assure that the invoice is accurately represents the work that was accomplished. Then the engineer will present this invoice to the city council for approval. So we will have that invoice here, presumably at the first meeting of the month. It will be for all to see, and we'll make it very public that will receive approval. Now, once we receive approval, it goes back to the engineer, and the engineer prepares a requisition for funds. He takes the invoice and this requisition, and he delivers it to the USDA. The USDA then, them and their engineers do the same thing that our engineer does. They match it up with the work, with the contract, make sure that everything's in line and appropriate and so forth. Once they approve it, they send it to the bank. PNC Bank is who we entered into an agreement with for the interim loan. At that time, PNC will draw down that loan that we did and move that into an account that the city has access to. At that point, our chief financial officer will then sign off on that and transfer the money to the person, the contractor that did the work. So there are lots of people in this loop. We have our engineering, we have the USDA, we have the city council, we have everybody involved in this loop. There is no opportunity for things to fall through the loop or not be accounted for. It should be very much understood by everybody, and I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with that. Now, the USDA has been doing this a long time all across the country, and they understand how this works. Pinvest is a little bit easier to work with, but I want to do the same thing. Pinvest will have the same cutoff date that we have. It'll be reviewed by the engineer. It'll come before our council here, and at that point, once we approve it, we pay it. We don't have somebody from Pinvest that once again looks at their own engineers. So we have to be very confident when we get to that point that we're satisfied that all the work is appropriate and covered. So that's how we're going to be handling the money, and I want to make sure everybody was comfortable with that and understood the process. It is not a trivial thing. It's one with lots of checks and balances built into it. Another thing that we've been doing, just talking about projects here, one of the projects we're doing is, so we've got the $500 building we're going to get rid of, and I described how we're going to get rid of that and what's going to go on there. But, you know, I went to Detroit here a few years ago, and they went through a process of removing all the blight in downtown, and all they ended up with was block after block of gravel lots with nothing there. And that's not at all what we're trying to accomplish here. There is a group that we're working with that really intends to revitalize that area. And the way that we're going to do that is through public meetings. We're going to talk about what is needed over there, what makes sense. There is lots of demographic data. There's lots of data that's been accumulated through the comprehensive plan that's been developed, the meetings that have been had in the past. We want to take all that data and boil it down to say, this is what we want to have in that area across the street. Maybe it's a shopping center, maybe it's a movie studio, maybe it's whatever. But the point being is it will be through the community deciding what kind of thing they want over there and what makes economic sense, what the demographics say, and so forth. If all the demographics say, shops say, you know, you want a pizza shop over there. Well, we got lots of pizza shops. Is that really going to be what we want over there? I mean, it needs to make sense. We need to think this through properly. So that whole process is in the works. We're working with everybody from the community, Keystone Communities to get the money for this removal of this $500 to money for putting together something for redevelopment here. None of these are going to be just overnight solutions, but they're going to be solutions that we need to talk through, we need to work through, we need to come up with a community involvement that says this is what we're going to do there. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Just that the coordination is really coming into play and has over the past few weeks and months, seeing all the groups coming together to share data, information, and their goals for the future. And that's what I think Harrisburg and Washington are looking for, that cooperation finally to put forth a plan that can work, a plan that will develop, and a plan that works for Monessen and is real. And as we've talked with many of you over the course of the past few years, this has to be a real effort. It can't be something that you just look on paper and try to put together. This has to be an effort where we're all in it together, working and putting the proper parties in the room together to find the solutions. And I think I'd like to add that the mayor and the entire council has been very forthright in indicating they want to work this way, and I'm pleased to hear that.
Well, thank you. I'm going to shift gears for just a little bit and talk about a little tribute that I want to place. Amelia Scary, who is a lifelong resident of Monessen, is somebody that I want to just talk about for just a second. 6 months before she was born, Monessen became a city. This is how long she's been around. Amelia Sakari was born on April 13th of 1922. She was only 5 years old when James Schoonmaker and James Reed both passed away in 1927. Those are the two that defined Schoonmaker Avenue and Reed Avenue that were named. Amelia was around with the likes of William Donner, who as a philanthropist died when she was 31 years old, of which Donora and Donner Avenue were named for him. Amelia was 50 when Page Steel and Wire Company was closed in 1972. At 64, she saw the closure of Wheeling Pittsburgh Steel. From a more personal perspective, Amelia raised 5 children, who in turn gave her 8 grandchildren, who went on to provide her with 8 grandchildren. As a matriarch of a family of Monessenites, I give my utmost respect to Amelia Sakari, who will in turn 100 years old in just a few weeks on April 13th of this year. For all of Monessen, I bless Amelia and pray for only the best for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would.
God bless her.
Just a couple more things I want to talk about very briefly, very quick. I don't try to wrap this up. We don't need to be here all night. But county hauling is, I want to extend my appreciation to them. We've had a house here in Monessen that is had trash all over the sidewalk, all over the street. Our code enforcement has been up there many times. They were unresponsive, unable to get them to clean it up. I called up county hauling and I said, send a dumpster up there. And they said, but you're the mayor. I said, yes, I will pay for it. They said, no, you won't. They sent a dumpster up and said, if you get anything from the judicial system for fines for this, we'd like to get paid, but other than that, we're here for the same reason you are. We want to make Monessen a better place. They sent up not a little dumpster, but a complete roll-off. This is a 20, 30-foot long roll-off, and it was more than half full when we finished. And we didn't even scratch the surface of getting stuff that was in their yard. This is just stuff that was on the sidewalk and in the street. Just massive amounts of garbage. The point being is, when things warm up a little bit, I think that it would be very appropriate for people in Monessen that are interested to help us. We will have some cleanup days, and in fact, Lois has already announced a couple. She can talk about that during her thing, but I think that's an excellent opportunity for us to work. And last but not least, I want to talk, he talked about the school tax, so just real quick to summarize that. It will go forward. It will be a new agreement that will take care of the school tax, the county tax, and the city tax. it probably won't be just a free-for-all as it was in the past, that there will probably be some sort of escrow involved, that you put up some money that says you're gonna be here to clean this property up, and if you don't, you lose your money. If you do, you get it back. But it needs to be something that we don't just have somebody coming in and taking over 20 or 30 properties and then doing nothing with them. That's just not what it's all about. Last but not least, yes, we need a deputy treasurer. Debbie has tendered her, she's retiring. If there's anybody interested in becoming a deputy treasurer, please see Debbie, Jerry, or the city administrator, and we will talk about it. With that, I'm going to turn it over to one more. Oh,
Yeah.
this is an important one. I need a motion. Somebody want to make a motion here?
Motion by Mayor Moser to authorize the collection of bids for the demolition and removal of the structure located at 500 Donner Avenue in the city of Monessen, and the development, coordination, and finalization of all appropriate and necessary procedures and legal processes to finalize the transaction.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski. Yes. Councilperson Thomas.
Yes.
Now I can turn it over to our Chief Financial Officer, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So, I got them out a little bit late there, but there's a packet up there, I'm sorry, John, of the bills paying for this month. I'd like to need a motion to pay bills from the general fund in the amount of $126,049.74.
Second, Mayor. Well,
Is there a second?
Excuse me, are we going out of order?
yeah, we're good.
He jumped down to D.
Sorry, we reverse.
He jumped down to item D there, so.
I don't have a problem voting on it, but I just wanted to let you know we were out of order.
You want to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any questions on this?
Yeah, where's my paperwork? No, I don't have it. I don't have that. I brought that. No, I do not have it. Oh, I see. That's nice. Okay, we're down here, okay. Okay, did we vote on this?
No, we're
There's
gonna.
a motion on the table, it's been seconded.
It's been seconded.
Any
Questions?
on the table?
No questions? If you want to
Go ahead.
explain it anymore, you're welcome to.
The only thing I'd like to really say is if you go through this list, and again, it's up there, I'd like to thank all the citizens of Monessen for deciding to pay their taxes. It was a great help. I wasn't dealing with $1,000, $1,500 in the general fund. It made a big difference. And I'll report where our difference is right now, but it was substantial. We're able to catch up on 90% of all our small bills. When I mean small bill, I'd say anything that's around $10,000 or less, mostly. So,
Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor.
Aye.
I guess we'll go back to A now. I need a motion to approve the second reading and enactment of ordinance number 1259, an ordinance increasing the indebtedness of the city of Monessen, Westmoreland County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania by the insurance of a guaranteed revenue note in the maximum principal amount of $2,370,000 for the purpose of rehabilitating the sewage lines.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor. Oh, go ahead, Lois, I'll let you take it. Second, Mayor.
Any questions on this? This is the Pinvest.
And yes, dear, my name's on the list.
No other questions? Call the roll.
Mayor Moser,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor.
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the hiring of 3 police officers within the city of Monessen pending their passage and approval
requisite and required civil service examinations and approvals for the positions on the force.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
I believe.
Is there any questions?
I believe, Mayor, they have passed their civil service exam according to the chief. Is he here?
He is here. And you need 3 more officers. Just make sure we get that on the record.
How many people are taking the civil service test? 3. Just 3.
Any other
I
questions?
wish them luck.
Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher,
Aye.
Councilman Ordzikowski.
Yes. I need a motion to authorize the purchase of appropriate fuel purchases, debt, credit cards from vendors within the city of Monessen to assist police and city employees with the purchase of fuel for vehicles which in the official performance of their duties and responsibilities for the city.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions?
Quite
Yes.
simply, oh, I'm sorry, Dawn.
No, go ahead. I'll have a question afterwards.
Okay. This was brought up and thought about because we've had the gas card shut off and the transition between when the payment sent, when they got the payment. One payment, we made a wire payment and made a payment, so we didn't understand why the card didn't work for some reason. And last Saturday or Sunday, I got a call from the mayor and the card didn't work again. So he went down and paid again so they could get gas, which reflects in the petty cash. But we can't have this happening. And I don't know why it's happening. Apparently it's been an ongoing thing through years, and I can't speak for years. But what we've thought about is to see if we can just, instead of having it with a credit card at downtown, which used to be the Exxon,
Yeah, I think it worked on both. but-
okay, is to also have an agreement at Bart's and down there where if something were out of money on a card, we can just write a check down there and give it to them and go with it.
And actually, it's more of a store account that they'll be running for us, where we can go and just get gas, they'll keep record of it, they'll give us a bill at the end of the month. We just go over there and pay them directly, we don't have to worry about mail or anything else we have a problem. We know we got a problem long before it becomes an issue. But on top of that, because we're committing to them to buy gas at those stations, they will give us a discount of the gas, which is very important too. Did you have something you want to talk about, Don?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'd like to see the agreement before we were to.
We don't have agreement yet, but we will have an agreement that'll
I
be
don't
brought
think we
forward.
should vote on something without an agreement.
You can either table this or make it contingent on the solicitor's approval.
Well, I would make it contingent on your approval.
Do we have any way too for like the checks and balances to make sure, what fuel we're taking out is actually what we're receiving too? So for example, you never know if one of the recipients at the counter might write down something fraudulent. Are we gonna make sure that someone, either a city employee or a police officer, takes a receipt with them?
I would assume that everybody would have to sign for it
Sign
along with
for
their
it, yeah,
vehicle,
okay.
so you have the vehicle number, the amount of gas, and who it was.
Okay, awesome.
Because basically, that's how it worked at our agency. When we went to pick up gas with an agency vehicle, we signed our name, we had to put the transaction code from the actual receipt and take a copy back to our agency. So
Yeah.
they knew who had the vehicle and who got gas, and you had receipts also.
Right. Those would have to be collected by the police, the fire, and all the other users of gas and collected.
Well, I can see mistakes being made with this
Mhm.
system.
Let's make sure we cover those. I
Yeah.
like controls.
Is there a process now for the cards that the city currently has?
Mr. Heppel, could you enlighten us? Or Chief Uas? He's really eloquent.
Excuse me. I assume that wouldn't change at all with,
What it ask you for is the odometer number and your ID number, which is the last four of your personal social, so they know which officer or employee it was that used it.
very good.
And I think each car, and I mean, each truck is a different car. So it's not like one car goes to,
A whole slew of
this
vehicles.
car here belongs to car 5. This car belongs to,
It's a little different with the street department, because we only have one vehicle left as gas, everything else is diesel. So we do have cars for gas cans.
Yeah, and I know Rodney helps Marvin fill up his
Right.
vehicle as well, because Marvin does not have a fuel card, so. I thank him for that, so.
So do we need to modify this? This is pending solicitor's approval?
Yes.
Is everybody comfortable with that?
I am.
Me too.
Do you want me to read it again with the modification?
Please do.
Motion to authorize the purchase of appropriate fuel purchase debt credit cards from vendors within the city of Monessen to assist police and city employees with the purchase for fuel for vehicles which in official performance of their duties and responsibilities for the city, pending solicitor's approval and sign off.
Okay. Again, second?
I'll second it.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser,
Yes.
Councilman Ordzikowski.
Yes. Okay, I need a motion to pay bills from the Recreation Board account of the City of Monessen in the amount of $1,107.59. All individuals' bills and totals to be paid for the individual accounts are attached to the meeting agenda and information packets by the mayor and the city council members as attachment B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Mayor Moser,
Aye.
Councilman Ordzikowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor.
Aye.
I need a motion to pay bills from the Parks account of the City of Monessen in the amount of $1,649.62. All individual bills and totals to be paid for the individual accounts are attached to the meeting agenda and informational packets of the mayor and council members as attachment C.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser,
Aye.
Councilman Ordzikowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor.
Aye.
Mayor, I just have one other thing, and that is, as of today, and this corresponds with our controller's report, we had $255,147.12 in the general fund. Debt service has $118,366.30. Fire escrow is $54,044.83. Grant fund is $41,237.25. Healthcare is $6,034.82. Line usage is $41,278.46. American Rescue, our plan is $70,295.42. Parks had $18,392.53. They're down now to $16,742.91. Payroll had $37,085.72. Recreational at $2,937.38. They are down now to $1,829.79. And liquid fuels is at $259,807.10. After tonight's approval of the bills, we now still have in the general account $129,097.38. A far cry better than the $1,500 I had last time. So thank you all.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lois.
Good evening, everyone. I will have a streets and library report at our March 24th meeting. I would also like to announce that plans are in place for Monessen to have a community cleanup day and recycling drop-off event Saturday, April 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The recycling drop-off event will run concurrently at the Monessen City Garage located at 605 Perennial Boulevard. You must be a resident of Monessen to participate in the recycling event. The rain date for the event is scheduled for Saturday, April 30th, 2022. I would like to make a motion for approval of council to apply for grants for completion of a military mural at the Anthony Madison Senior Veterans Memorial Park, formerly known as Knight Street Park.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas.
Yes. Thank you. That's in my report.
Thank you. Councilman John?
Honorable Mayor, members of council, citizens of Monessen, I currently am not going to read my reports until next month's meeting, or next week's, or 2 weeks, the next meeting coming up, sorry about that. And I currently have nothing else personally to report to the city, just discussions with the code enforcement officer, and that's all I have currently at this time. I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
And I yield the floor.
Councilman Don?
Yeah, I don't have a report for parks and public property till the next scheduled meeting. I do have a letter from Joseph's Nursery and Garden Center about memorial bench installation. Councilman Gregor and council members, in the summer of 2021, we received numerous orders for memorial benches throughout the city. Due to supply chain issues and worker shortage, it took approximately 20 weeks for those benches to arrive. We received 8 orders for benches. Some are going to be installed on private property. The others are going to be installed on city property. We've had a few others inquire about benches. However, these are the only orders that we have received thus far. Below are the benches in respective locations that we are looking to install in the coming months. At 9th Street Park for Major K. Tuffy Corley. This will be located near the basketball court along with a shade tree. One for Lonnie Scott Jr., one for Napoleon Madison. Down at the boat launch, Save the Seeds Ministries. This is to be near the newly constructed playground. Any questions or concern regarding these benches, please contact Christian Joseph at 724-684-7393. Sincerely, Christian Joseph's Nursery. That is it.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on anything you'd like to talk about.
Mayor, were we not to read this correspondence here?
Yeah, this is for the Lions Armory fence.
Well, I don't know if that's something,
Okay, I was just
I've included that for information. We can talk about that.
okay.
The police, and maybe Chief can come up here too, and grab a mic so everybody can hear him, because he has such a soft-spoken voice. But the bottom line is, there's a number of firearms that have actually outlived their usefulness within the police, I do believe. This amounts to 13 Glock Model 23 40 caliber semi-automatic pistols. And what they're proposing doing is placing these on a public auction site, and with a reserve minimum of $400 per unit. Is that right?
That's correct.
The industry standard for this, and this is being conducted, this is primarily Three Lions Armory that's helping us out with this. And the solicitor is still reviewing to make sure that this is all handled properly and so forth. But normally, a sale like this would involve commission somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20%. Three Lions Armory is waiving the commission fee, and what they want is just one of the firearms for payment that they would not resell. They would keep it in their private collection. The value of that would be less than 10% and would leave 12 firearms for sale. Just out of curiosity, what are you going to replace these with if all this is successful?
Our game plan here is, after the completion of this sale, we also have other firearms that we're looking to sell also, and I've been in talks with Mr. Delfonso there. That money is going to go and purchase us new firearms. The firearms we have now, they're newer, but they're too big. I have officers complaining of, because they're a competition model. This means a longer barrel, means a longer holster, means whenever you sit in a patrol car, when you sit in a seat,
It's probably up in your rib.
it goes up in your rib, it twists your back, and how many officers came to me and asked me because they're tired of going to chiropractor. So we've worked with Three Lines Armory, our firearms officer, Brian Mickens, Mr. Delfonso, and even with just trying to come up with some type of plan to move forward to get something a little bit more feasible, in a sense, for our officers for duty. So our plan is to use that money to eventually purchase new firearms and sell the ones we have now, because we have firearms that we are never going to use. To be honest with you, and no one's certified to actually use them. They're just collecting dust. So that's our plan to move forward.
Okay, thank you. Three Lions Armory has already cleaned and serviced a number of those firearms. They've not charged the city anything to do that. Dave Feehan is a strong proponent for the city of Monessen. He used to be on city council. His heart is with city of Monessen. I just can't stress how much he's helped us out. But what this will really do, if he's successful, will give you about $4,800 to go buy different firearms. And that combined with others that you do, it sounds like a win-win for the city. It sounds like a win-win for the police.
Yeah, it's not going to be any no money out of the city budget. It's all going to be our money, from the sale from the guns to and if there's any carryover that we have to spend, we have our grant fund to dip into if need be. But I really don't see that happening, especially once we sell everything.
As long as you're standing there, I got to say one more thing.
Yes.
I went up to the school system, to the school board meeting, to talk to them about different things. But in the course of that, they mentioned that you went to the school and made several suggestions, and they had nothing but the most positive things to say about you. They were very impressed that you went to them and you made some suggestions for how they move traffic around during the school exit. So kudos to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for everything, Chief. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chief Uhas.
Is there any other comments that people would like to make? Public comments, open it up. Well, use the mic. Push it up. You can just give it a second, it'll work. Here, take this one, it doesn't matter.
My name's Ed LaFever. I live on Keystone Drive in Monessen. I just have three basic questions. I'll say them and then I'll just sit down and listen for any comment. I'm not trying to be critical here, but this administration appears to be hesitant to approach the owner of the old health center. My comment is the building continues to be empty. It's growing older and it possibly needs updated. And really, the owner said when he purchased that building, he promised jobs for the community. In fact, I would like to know, where is he? And when was the last time he came to Monessen, to City Hall? That's my first question. My second is, I think it was in January, have the firemen received the tax break they requested? That's my second one. My third one is, you may be aware of this. If you head down State Road to 906, and you cross the railroad tracks. And you're approaching the stop sign. Is the property to your right, the hillside, is that still in Monessen boundary? That's my first question about that. Second of all, has anyone noticed the waterfall to the right of State Road before the entrance to the road leading up to the hill? Has anyone, the water at that particular location has the appearance of runoff sewage water? I noted that today again. It's not clear. It really looks like sewage water. Now, does that water go down to the river?
Question.
Who's
Is that,
re-
is that off the property that Biggs has their dumpsters up on?
I believe so. Is that coming from them?
I couldn't tell you.
See, and it flows down like a waterfall, and then there must be an opening, and I don't know, does that go raw into the river, or does that go into some sewage system?
It probably goes, if that's what I think it is, it goes into the river.
That's not right. Those are my three
Call the
questions.
DEP.
I think we probably need to get the engineer to take a look at that, to be real honest with you. There's
Delmar, is that Monessen?
mines,
That's not Monessen.
it's not Monessen,
That's not Monessen.
right,
Yeah,
In other words, that property on the hillside,
that would be Ross Straver Township.
yeah.
all that property
All those,
That's
on the
Ross
hillside.
Straver Township.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that would be an interesting thing. There's lots of reasons why you'd have water there. It could be an old mine that water's filtering through that has all kinds of, it would have sulfur, everything else. I don't know, but that's worth looking into.
Yeah, it keeps on going.
Yeah, that's been going on
Well,
for years.
let's address some of his questions before you take off there, Yaka. First off, Best Medical, it's their building. They have a payment that's due the 1st of June. I thought they were gonna make an early payment, they have not. But until they miss a payment, we really can't say anything. So that's all there is to say about that. We really, there's lots of buildings that are empty. This owner can do whatever they want to with the building. They do have people that are working out of that office, by the way. There's people there all the time. It's not been empty completely, but has it been employing lots of people? No, it is not. I can't answer that question. But to be honest, the property belongs to him. He signed a promissory note. He's got to make a payment on June of $190,000. Up to this point, he is fully within what the contract said. So he's not violated the contract at all thus far. So whatever that is. And as far as the tax break for the firemen, we haven't really talked about that. But to be honest with you, I would like to see their business plan for running that plaza. If they're going to ask for forgiveness for taxes, that means we're partners with that, and I would expect them to show us their business plan and how it's going to benefit them. That's my take on it in any event.
What about the Monessen Fireman's Social Hall as you come into Monessen on Schoonerville?
That is a different thing. I believe that is tax exempt.
It's owned by the fire department.
There's just certain rules that apply for nonprofit organizations such that if you have property that you're renting out on a continual basis, such as a shop in a plaza, that is not tax-free. And hence, that plaza is a taxable organization.
Is there not business, are there not offices below that? I'm not sure.
In the Grand Plaza?
No, Fireman's Social Hall.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
There are
businesses. I don't know how that works.
It's based on the percentage that's business and then for the nonprofit or in support of the nonprofit in this case. I'm not aware of what businesses are down there. and
It's
what square
doctor's
footage
office.
is, But there is some formulation under the law for those purposes.
Well, if these businesses pay,
Again, it depends on how much of the square footage of the building, things like that.
Let me give you an example. Grandview Cemetery is a 501c3 nonprofit. However, we have an apartment above our office that we rent out to a tenant. We have to pay property tax, and we have to report that as income. That's how it works for us. But we're not, that building is not tax exempt because we do have a tenant.
And that,
Again, it's based on the,
yeah, sorry, I probably misspoke. No, I don't know if the entire building's tax exempt or a portion of it based on what is leased out. I don't think anybody up here has any knowledge about that.
actually, I believe that the social hall is completely
Yeah.
because it's, the bulk of it
Mhm.
is a social hall.
Yeah, that's, the social hall, no doubt, is tax exempt.
Did we answer your 3 questions? Well, thank you.
My name is John Yankulix. I live at 230 Knox Avenue across from 525 Ross Straver. You know about that, Lois? The house is across from me?
You're in the headlights.
In that big white building across from Del Rosa's. The house is across the street from me. You know them guys, they're putting garbage out on the sidewalks now and the porch?
Oh, you mean it down around that
No, right across the street from me. If you come out my house door from where I live, you go straight across. That big porch, 525, there's bags all over the sidewalk. You know about that U-Haul? I called the Marvin today, I talked to him. You know about that, Dave? The garbage up there? 525 Ross Street. These people from Florida bought the place. They got all kind of bags all over the sidewalk and the porch.
That's a code enforcement issue.
Okay.
Yeah. The,
Thanks.
this is a reoccurring problem. This seems to be getting out of control. There are numerous people that just seem to have no regard for others in this community and just putting garbage out. That is something that the city just can't tolerate as a city. The County of Halling's been willing to work with us. We need to work with them. We need to figure out ways to address that. And that goes right to the judicial system. They need to enforce the fines and penalties associated with it. Marvin is working hard to solve it, but we all got to get behind him. Anybody else have anything? It's now 7:38. I'd like to entertain motions for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Good job, bro. Hi, Chair. How you doing, guys? Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, just, you ever be in your office before?
Yeah.
Okay, I come in and do it.
Good, excellent, okay.
How you doing?
Hello, hi.
Jeff, how are you? What are you doing here?